Now, whether you are on Twitter, you are on YouTube, you are on any social media, you'll hear on occasions people saying that Arsenal deserve the Premier League more than any team, especially after that win against Man United. Now, the thing is, no any single team deserve the Premier League better than any other team. Every other team has to compete, every other team has to put their best foot forward, every other team has to ensure they win most of the games, they don't get defeated, they try as well to win regardless of how they play, regardless of the injuries they get throughout the season, regardless of bad form, good form. And the thing is, yester week, do you say yester week? Or the previous week, when Ateta was asked about winning the Premier League, and he said, like, for the last 3 seasons, they had the most points compared to every other team. And it just means that if if they can try and do it for a single season, then they'll win the league. But that's where the problem is. And I had to go back and see for Arsenal. Yes, in 2023, they came in second against Man City was first, Ten Hag's Man United was third, but they were shy, 5 points shy of Man City to winning the Premier League. Then 23-24 season, again, they were 2 points off Man City. They got 89, Man City got 91, and it was an improvement from the previous season. And then the last season, they again became second, winning, getting 74 points, Liverpool getting 84 points. Those are 10 points, which is a big drop. And if you see, Liverpool came from position 6, I think, to 3 to winning the league. And I think this season probably they'll go behind. But what Ateta said was correct. And I just had to go back and see, like, what was the problem with Arsenal, because they have been doing this thing for like seven good years, just preparing to win this thing with that data, just changing the players. And I had to go back to see, like, what made them not win in 2022-2023 season. So you look at the teams they lost points to, which was Southampton, the draws. They got a draw with Southampton, Newcastle, Brentford, West Ham, Liverpool, and then Southampton again. Then they lost against Man United, Everton, Man City, twice, Brighton, Nottingham Forest. And if you see the teams that they lost first, they drew against Liverpool. They defeated Liverpool in the second game. Man United beat them. They beat Man United second game. They lost against Man City in both two games. In the two games, they lost against Brighton, Nottingham Forest. And I think this is the point where Ateta probably, and I think he shifted a lot of how we play from this season, because they were dominating the games. They wanted to just, they wanted to, this season they were dominating the game. And I think whatever happened between 2022 to 2023 and 2023 to 24 was a shift in not just playing the ball, but trying to get the results, which meant they were like, I don't know if you understand me, they were shifting from playing the game as much as they were doing in 2022. Like, they were not like trying to get those passes. They were not trying. They were just trying to get the ball in front, get the ball to Saka, get the ball to whoever was playing the striking. And they signed Havertz, I think. Is it the season? It was the season after. But they signed, who's this? They signed our midfielder, the Chelsea midfielder. What's his name? But that's it. Then we went to 23-24. This season, they lost to Man City for 2 points. And the The teams they lost to were Fulham, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle, Aston Villa, West Ham, Fulham. Now, the teams they lost in 2023 compared to 2022, 2023 is different. In 2022-2023, they lost a lot of teams in that, that midsection, the Newcastle, the people who don't play a lot of games, but they always hurt you. Brentford, West Ham, Newcastle, Southampton, that side. But in 2023-2024, they started losing to like drawing. They did not lose a lot of goals, but they started drawing to the top teams. But they didn't even draw a lot of games. It was just 6 games, 6 losses. But drawing Chelsea, drawing Liverpool, drawing Man City. Again, in 2022-2023, they lost to Man City twice. In 2023-2024, they defeated Man City and then drew with Man City, with Fulham, with Tottenham, and then they lost to Aston Villa, West Ham, Fulham, Newcastle. Again, the same culprit, Newcastle that drew with them in 2022 again defeated them in 2023. Aston Villa that had, of course, Aston Villa but Aston Villa changed their manager. Was it this season or it was the season previously? Defeated them twice. West Ham again drew with West Ham. West Ham defeated them. Fulham, where did I say Fulham? Fulham was not here, but it was just that section. It was that section of the midsection. Like they were defeating those teams at the lower end of the table. They were defeating a lot of teams at the lower end of the table. They were defeating some of the teams at the upper end of the table. But the teams in the mid-table, Aston Villa, West Ham, Fulham, Newcastle, Fulham defeated them or drew with them in 2022. And I think whatever happened between 2023 and 2025, I don't know. But again, it was mostly the same team. But again, it's just that section. Brentford, Man United, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa again, Bournemouth, Newcastle again, Brighton again, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, the same culprit. And you expect that to win. And this, I think, is the problem with Arsenal compared to teams like Man City and teams like Liverpool. Whenever Liverpool or Man City wants to win the league, again, it doesn't lose to any team in the lower part of the table, which I think Arsenal has nailed that. But what Arsenal has not nailed is just allowing, being able to defeat on both legs these teams in the midsection of the league and the top teams. Sometimes he draws a lot of games. And I think that's the reason why he lost in 2023, 2024, because some of the games he should not have drew with. Like Chelsea was not that good at that point. Spurs was also not that good at that point. And then you think like teams like Aston Villa, you don't get defeated twice with Aston Villa, with Newcastle. If you just get 2 wins on those games, you win. Especially with Man City. If they are defeated Man City, then they will be getting 3 points or 2 points. Man City will be losing 1 point and they will be above Man City. You see? Those are the things that you think. Probably some of these games you should not be losing. Some of these games against West Ham, against Bournemouth, against Southampton, are not just that against teams that you have always been defeating whenever they draw with you. Man United, they have never gotten 6 points from Man United. They have never gotten 6 points from Man City. They have not never gotten 6 points from Newcastle. Aston Villa the same. Like there are just certain teams that it's so hard for Arsenal to get 6 points from, and I think that's the difference with Man City and Arsenal, and again Liverpool with Arsenal. If they figure it out, and I think that's how they have been changing. Like if you think you have a certain problem, you address it. I think some of the Arsenal have not been addressing some of the problems they have had over the seasons, because sometimes you think it's the striker and then they come with for Havertz. Sometimes you think, okay, the midfield has probably a certain problem when this player is missing, when this player is missing, and then you see the people that are replacing them with, and then you just think that there will be something lacking. Like when Party was getting injured, and then what I wanted to say was signing Jorginho, and you think, okay, they might be playing the same profile, they have a certain same profile of play, but then you can't replace somebody who, like Party, who again, whenever he's fit, he plays at a very, very, very high level, to Jorginho, who his days are probably over. It just means that whenever Party is not there, the uh, the levels, the quality will reduce just a little bit. And it was the same with when Jesus was not playing, and then you replace him with Havertz. And Havertz, his best season in England was 6 goals. Now, how are you getting, how will you get those goals? How will you get those goals if Saka is not there? And I think that has been the problem. Even with last season, Saka is not playing, Havertz is not giving the goals. You are getting Havertz injured. Now you bring Mary, and that's why you draw with Fulham 0-0. That's why you get with Nottingham Forest 0-0. That's why you can't get a point of Bournemouth, West Ham. Those are the reasons. And now I think they have gone because they thought the solution was Gyökeres, which that's right. Like if you need somebody to score, the options which were there were Gyökeres, Sesko, and the Nigerian dude, Osimhen. And I think getting Gyökeres was one good idea. And you just wait and see if they'll use him to the best of his ability. Now, in that game versus Man United, he was moving funny. He was slow. He was like Palmer, just a little bit slow. Just a little bit slow. Just a little bit slow. You want him to get to the end of the ball, and the defender just gets there quicker. You want him to just take a step off and receive the ball in the way that you want, and then he just waits for the ball. And you think that probably it's just learning what. Sometimes you may blame the player, but also it's because Arsenal are playing too quick. Probably it's not used to that, because you have to get used to your teammates. Sometimes you are used to your teammates taking their time, just giving you the pass when the time is right. But then you get to another team that are playing too quick. They are moving the ball too quick. They are moving too quick, and then you are just slower. So some people will blame you, but it's because you haven't gelled enough or in the right way with your teammates. Now, if they gel, if they are going to get the points, if they are going to get the goals from Gyökeres, and that means they are able to, all these teams that they have not been able to defeat. Like if you have a Liverpool 2-2, can Gyökeres score the goal at the 88th minute, at the 90th minute? If it's Brentford, if it's Everton and they're just defending, can he do that? That's what the question you need to ask if you want to see if Arsenal will win this league. And from the first game, a derby, Old Trafford getting the goal, it's a huge statement. People don't always see all these fast games. People don't always see all these games because people are just enjoying the moment. People just enjoying the moment in these games. But then, eventually, if you have seen the league so many times, if you have always been curious about how all these players play until the end of the league, if you have to check back and see what made these teams like win these games, what made these teams, like even for Liverpool last season, when they were accumulating a lot of points, when they were on top, when they were beating every other team when they were on top. When they were not on top, it was very hard for all these other teams to come back and got them. Like to come back to squeeze the distance, to squeeze the point difference between Liverpool and the next one. Like it was hard. Like it was like, if you are going to get, you have to win 6 games continuously. And sometimes you just find it so hard. So when teams like Arsenal get these points where you think, you know, you haven't been getting 6 points of Man United, but because you have defeated Man United in Old Trafford, then there's a highly likelihood you are going to say get 6 points of Man United. And probably you'll do the same to Man City. And probably you must do the same to Liverpool. If you do that, then there's a high chance you are going to win this league. But are they going to win this league, or are they just going to be second? It depends. But they have started well. They are not passing around. They're just trying to do their work and go home. Do your work and go home. That's what you want from uh, a title winning league. That's what Liverpool have always been doing. Not passing, just hoof, hoof and poof the ball and score and come back and relax and wait and hoof and destroy and do everything that's not the beautiful game, but you eventually win. But again, I don't think Arsenal are going to win the league. I'll have to see until the fifth game before I decide to say like, hey, they might be there. But I don't think, as at now, based on the preseason. But from this first game, they have done their work. Now until the next game on weekend,